Welcome to the GPLama YouTube channel and to my quick look review of the new SIGMA ROX 12.1 EVO cycling computer. Now I did say quick look, but we do go down a few rabbit holes with this one today. Now my last coverage of the SIGMA range would have been back a few years ago at the Festive 500 where I took the ROX 12.0 out for a ride and came back with a big shopping list of things that I think needed fixing on this unit. Good news is all but one of those has been resolved with this new release. But hold tight, it's not all smooth sailing from here. Okay, quick overview of this unit as it stands. The EVO 12.1 is the flagship touchscreen cycling computer from SIGMA out of Germany. This does replace the ROX 12.0 EVO, which was released all the way back in June 2018, 5 years ago from today. A quick skip through the notable features of this new unit. It has a redesigned form factor, USB-C, Bluetooth connectivity, which was a huge miss from the ROX 12.0, which also means you get smart notifications on this. Ant+ radar support, e-bike support, workouts, crash detection, Strava live segment support, indoor smart training control, comes in black or white, claim battery life of 14 hours of typical usage. And there's a big focus on navigation and mapping. If you've seen the ads for this put out in the last few days, it's all about the navigation and mapping. Pricing comes in with the base unit of €380 and the bundle €470. You get a speed sensor, cadence sensor, and a heart rate sensor with the bundle. So this unit is sitting at the same table as the Edge 540 non-solar. Now, depending on where you are in the world, there's going to be price differences based on your currency exchange. But what we can say is this is not in the budget category for cycling GPS computers.
Speeding through the unboxing and everything listed on the side there. Let's have a look at what's inside the box. The unit itself, all the manuals and a little commute voucher, documentation. We have out front mounts, we have stem mounts and a lanyard. All looking good. All right, the unit itself, let's have a closer look at this. Nice and shiny. Garmin quarter turn mount there on the bottom. We have 3 buttons there on the right hand side. 2 buttons on the left and USB-C on the bottom. All right, a close look at what everyone loves. Oh yeah, so shiny. Okay, on the scales with this unit, claimed weight of 110 grams in the technical specifications. Here in the Llama Lab, coming in at 109 grams. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, as compared to the 1040 Solar, looking at 133 grams for that. The 840 Solar, 89 grams for that. And a very scuffed Hammerhead Karoo 2, which has taken a few bounces down the road. 137 grams on that unit. Now just side-by-side comparison for the size. We have the SIGMA ROX 12.1, the Hammerhead Karoo 2 next to it there. 1040 Solar. So all very similar, a little bit smaller than those two. And the 840 definitely coming in a little bit smaller. And from here it's time to boot the unit up for the first time, download the SIGMA Ride app on the iPhone, scan the QR code, get everything set up, and it's all pretty straightforward from there. Not doing a lot of customization for the first few rides. I like to ride everything pretty much how it's presented. Maybe change a data field here or there. That's about it though. So quite a straightforward setup. No issues encountered with that at all. Bluetooth working fine to my iPhone 12.
So I've been using the ROX 12.1 EVO for the last week or so doing basic functionality testing, that being interface testing. Can I start and stop an activity easily? Can I load and unload a route out on the bike? How well does it pair to all my sensors, those being Di2, axis, Ant+ radars, power meters, heart rate monitors, etc. How accurate is the GPS? And finally, does it sync the activity when I'm out on the bike with my phone in my pocket? Or do I need to come home and be within Wi-Fi range? All things that this unit should pass with flying colours. And then I go about doing a deeper dive review. This unit's put up a little short on a number of those things. Hence me doing a quick look review and just highlighting a few of the areas that you need to be wary of if you're an early adopter of one of these. All right, before we get into the good, the bad, let's start off with a bit of housekeeping on exactly what GPS constellations this thing actually supports. A few of the media outlets have reported this as being multi-band. Now, for me, my understanding multi-band is multi-frequency. There's also multi-GNSS, which is something that Garmin were doing many, many years ago. Pulling up the tech specs over on the Sigma site, this thing lists GPS, GLONASS, and Galileo, and only one frequency for each of those constellations. Meaning this is multi-GNSS, not multi-band or multi-frequency. If tracking precision is your thing, that is very, very important, and a very important difference between what this does and what a few other units do on the market. And you'll see the GPS accuracy test in just a few moments. Okay, that aside, on to the good. And we saw in the unboxing there, the setup and customization is quite straightforward, very, very easy. The interface on the 12.1 is very similar to that of the 12.0, so if you're moving from one to the other, everything will be familiar. Bike profiles exist on this unit, which is a good thing, road, mountain bike, gravel, e-bike, etc. And the sub-sport within the fit file is correctly set, so if you're uploading to Strava, it knows what kind of bike ride you have done. Worldwide maps are available on this unit and are accessible via the Wi-Fi connection, which is it's amazingly better than what it was in the older unit. Route sync from Strava was absolutely painless. I linked this unit to my Strava account. I then could browse my Strava routes, favorite the one that I wanted to sync, bang, it was on the unit. Super, super slick. Routing and basic rerouting tests on this unit out on the road were pretty good, and so they should be. This is the hero function they're claiming for this unit. I did, however, encounter a bug today when doing the 5 climbs route here in Ballarat. Now, I started the route when I was off route, hoping it would direct me to the start. It appeared to be shortcutting the entire route and directed me to the finish, so it was telling me to do a U-turn for the first 5 or 6 Ks, where I stopped the route, reloaded, restarted, and it realized I was on track and doing my 5 climbs. Other than that, once that was sorted, every roundabout turn was good. The rerouting wasn't too bad, and rerouting is a very, very tricky thing. Destination-based routing, which we use in our car, is superb for rerouting, because once you reroute, that becomes your new route. However, if it's path-based routing, which these things may be working on, it will try and route you back on track, and depending where it can get you back on track, well, today this thing wanted to route me through a cemetery, which was technically correct, but probably not ideal. Anyway, the routing and rerouting wasn't too bad for this unit for an initial quick look. The touchscreen works well enough, and even well enough through gloves today, but look, the Karoo 2 really has set the high standard there for touchscreen functionality and responsiveness in the dry. Bluetooth activity, it did sync in my pocket before I got home up to the Sigma cloud, so big tick there, and the radar support was great. I had the RTL 515 on the back of the bike, and it was beeping away when cars were passing. Now, on to other observations. Now, GP Sheepy, we just can't call these things the things that really just Remember the Chevron incident, Llama? Don't anger the Germans. Germans, okay, yeah, no worries. Okay, on to my other observations. Look, the startup time on this unit is a little slow. 52 seconds to start. Not quite the instant on we have with some of the cheaper units, but still needs to be a little quicker than that. There's no sleep mode and there's no battery save mode that I can find either. 14 hours of battery life of typical use is what they claim in their tech specs. So once you hook up all the sensors and you're touching the screen quite a lot and getting quite a lot of radar alerts, I can guarantee you it's going to be a lot less than 14 hours. Now the benchmark has been set very, very high on the new Garmin units, and this is coming in at about a half or a third of those. When it comes to screen brightness, the ROX 12.1 just isn't as bright or as clear as the 12.0 outside. Related to screen brightness, the screen colors on the ROX 12.1 just look a little washed out for my liking. I was outside on a pretty dim day, and although it's hard to see here in the footage, the Garmin Edge 840, which isn't known for its high contrast screen, really did outshine the 12.1. When setting up the SRAM axis sensor on here, there was no presets for the chainring combination and the cassette that I was running on the back. It's quite surprising that a unit such as this doesn't have all the combinations out there just to quickly select and away you go, so I had to enter those manually. Speaking of that, the gearing information is not saved in the fit file either. You can have the gearing information displayed on screen, but it's not saved, it's just discarded. Comparing to the sensor, the information is there. I'd highly recommend saving that down. If you're using the SRAM axis web and some gear analysis, it's very useful stuff to have. Next up, there's no Climb Pro or climbing information whatsoever, even with a preloaded route. So my 5 climbs route, I've used that for Climb Pro, Hammerhead's Climber, and Wahoo's Summit. Yes, I've got all the names right, I think. This has, well, nothing. It has the upcoming elevation profile. And depending on your zoom levels, it may be useful, it may be not. But that is a big miss on a unit like this. It is trying to compete at the high end when everyone else is doing those climbing information screens. no live tracking, and unfortunately I had some power meter issues with the data recorded from this. Now I was out with the Edge 840 and this unit connected to the same power meter. That's how I know it's not a power meter issue. And it wasn't smooth sailing. Let's pull up the data here. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the power graph from the Edge 840 and the SIGMA ROX 12.1 EVO. Obviously different colors for the both, and I'll choose this section through here, Longs Hill Road, if you're from Ballarat. The blue is the Quark D0 with the Edge, and the red is, well, the SIGMA ROX. I'm getting drops here, 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 and here. Now, it's not uncommon to have a drop or a zero reading if you're changing gears or the accelerometer doesn't quite work. Look, just here, I guess, when there's start and stops, but when there's continual pedaling and there's dropouts like that, it's not a good sign. Dropping down to the cadence, so it was the cadence and the power dropping out. However, it was only on this unit. Garmin was recording just fine. The result of that is the data from the SIGMA ROX from the same power meter is reading a little bit lower. Further out in the road, well, you can just grab any bit of data here actually, and there's a number of other dropouts. Sprint wasn't too bad, recorded that, but again through here, just 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple dropouts. Now those can also be seen over on Strava. If I jump into my data over here, Longs Hill Road through here, and they're appearing there, there, and there. So power meter dropouts from here. Now that could be caused by a number of different things. However, with two units effectively side by side or one in front of the other and paired to the same power meter at the same time, something is up with the recording here on the ROX. Staying on the DCR analyzer for now to look at the GPS accuracy between these two, and one being multi-frequency, multi-band, multi-GNSS, the other being just multi-GNSS. We can see the SIGMA ROX there in red. It's just the update frequency is just a little bit less. It's cutting that corner a little bit there. You're thinking, yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, okay, I can forgive you for that. But as we go on further and further and further, this is clear line of sight of the sky. It's not looking too bad from here, but it's when we start getting some tree cover that the Edge really shows up the other unit. So look, that's acceptable. Coming down through here, we can see the red line just wavering a little bit more. Other side of the road there, other side of the road there. Now you may think I'm just picking the peanuts. Just wait, more than just peanuts around the corner. And coming down White Swan here with the tree coverage. A lot more wonkiness coming from the red. And as soon as we get up the hill, a little further in the tree line, this is probably the worst conditions for a GPS. It was overcast, it was kind of dark and drizzly, and it's gone bush on me with the SIGMA ROX. The Garmin has me correctly on both sides of the road, nice and tightly locked. The SIGMA ROX, well, it's got me on the right side of the road, just nowhere near the road for this section through here. Now that was low speed through here too. It was a challenging environment, but it's 2023. This is a new unit. This should be a lot tighter on the GPS track than that. So that's data from the power meter looking a little dodgy, the GPS not being all that accurate. Diving a little further into the fit file, and well, the fit file is just a little bit messy too. There's no device ID saved within the fit file, so I couldn't tell what heart rate monitor I had, what sensor I had paired. There's no gearing information as mentioned. It's very, very light on in the fit file. Definitely not matching the standard set by Garmin, which is also very similar to how Hammerhead and Wahoo record things as well. So this is doing it just a little bit differently, and also making analysis like this just a little bit harder too. And then there's the issue of additional sensors as well. So tire weirs, core body temperature sensor, etc. This just doesn't support those. So given the issues that I was having with the power meter sensor, the GPS accuracy and the fit file being a little bit screwy, I decided to call it a day there. We'll maybe just give this a few more months before doing a full deep dive review. Maybe send all this over to Sigma and see what they've got to say with where things are at. All right, onto my overall, and yeah, get ready for this one. Look, this is the update that Sigma needed to do for their own devices. This brings it up to speed or up to a certain level of what I think people want out of a mid-range cycling GPS computer. But this already feels dated. Ideally, this is the upgrade that the ROX 12.0 should have had released for it, well, above it, in early 2020. That was 3 years ago. For me, this has all the hallmarks of a unit that was ready to go 3 years ago, but was put on ice during the COVID period. Now, during that period, Everyone else was getting busy with their units. So the competition, Garmin with their X40 range, 540, 840, 1040, and the solar versions, with Climb Pro coming out for free riding. Hammerhead pushing out updates every few weeks, and Wahoo also doing some funky things with free ride climbing information. And then there's this, which is where everybody was a few years ago. But this has the unfortunate bonus of being a little problematic with my power meter and not really all that accurate with GPS. And also no live tracking. Okay, I'll stop there. Look, for me, there's just no standout feature or no hero feature for this unit. And that was the similar conclusion that I had for the 12.0. I really hope the hardware that Sigma have packed into here allows them to do a number of significant updates in the near future via firmware to the feature sets we're seeing on this. If not, and this is what they're banking on for the next 5 years, I don't think Garmin, Hammerhead or Wahoo have much to worry about, to be honest. So I'll be catching up with Sigma at Eurobike next week, which is undoubtedly going to be an interesting conversation. But what I want to know is, where's this thing heading? It's obviously got a few rough edges on release, and is definitely going to struggle in the marketplace with the feature sets that it comes with today. And with that, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching this one. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up on this, hit subscribe to be alerted of new videos on this channel, and we'll just see you soon.